How's it going, friends? It's time for another Battlefield 4 weapon review. Now, in the first couple of episodes I featured the M416 and the ACWR, two weapons that we've seen before in the Battlefield series from Battlefield 3, so I thought it's about time that I featured one of the new weapons that's debuted in BF4. And one of those new weapons we see littered across the weapon selections for all kits is the series of ACE rifles. DICE must have employed an Israeli weapons consultant this year because the ACE is the designation in game for the guerrilla rifle. There's literally more aces than a pack of cards in this game, but despite them all sharing the same name, they are actually all quite different. So the one we're going to take a look at today is the ACE 52 CQB, one of the two aces found in the carbine category. This particular ace has some unique stats which makes it stand out from the crowd, so let's get started with this review and take a look at the ACE 52. So the one feature that really stands out about the ACE 52 is its damage rating. It comes out at 34, dropping off to 20, which is the highest out of all the carbines. The usual figure is 25, dropping off to 15.4, which equates to a 4 to 7 shot kill, but the ACE is the carbine powerhouse, with it being able to drop people in 3 to 5 shots. This puts it on par with the power of the assault rifles, but being a carbine you can use it with any of your kits. But unfortunately its damage is the only real feature that this weapon's got going for it. As we'll see in the rest of this guide, things start to really fall apart with the stats of the ACE 52. The first of those downfalls is its rate of fire, coming out at the bottom of the pack at 650 rounds per minute. This is kind of to be expected because we usually find high damage weapons with a low fire rate, example being the Scar H. But even though this weapon can drop people in 3 shots up close, I was still finding myself getting outgunned due to it taking longer to get my 3 shots out than it would an enemy with a faster fire rate weapon to get their 4 shots to kill out. One surprising area that the ACE 52 lacks in is its muzzle velocity. Usually with a high damage weapon you see a higher muzzle velocity, but with the ACE 52 it's again at the bottom of the pack at 400 meters per second. As I discussed in the previous two guides, the muzzle velocity isn't really a figure to really worry about with the assault rifles or the carbines. This is more a figure that you might want to look at when considering a sniper rifle or maybe an LMG. But it's something to keep in mind because it does inhibit this weapon's long range ability. One of the major disadvantages of the ACE 52 is its recoil. Again, this can be expected with it being a high power weapon. You do tend to expect more kick with a higher power round, but the ACE 52 has the strongest recoil out of all the carbines. And as you can see, any automatic fire just heads skywards, but even controlled fire is quite difficult to keep on target. Anything more than a couple of rounds per burst and you're going to be missing your target altogether. So this is one weapon that you're really going to need to create some kind of cocktail of attachments to really tame the recoil and try and keep this weapon under control, and you might even want to consider switching over to that single fire mode. The terrible stats continue when we take a look at the magazine size. This weapon is again at the bottom of the pack with a 25 round magazine. As if the slow rate of fire and high recoil wasn't enough to balance out that high damage, this weapon's also short of 5 rounds compared to the other carbines. This doesn't really make much difference to the actual weapon performance, since with a slower rate of fire you can conserve your ammo, but the main problem is the 25 round magazine means your starting ammunition loadout is also much lower, meaning it can be quite easy to burn through all your ammo and run it completely dry. You might think that this is maybe countered by a super fast reload time, but unfortunately that's not the case. At 2.2 seconds it's not the slowest, but your character does take his time to replenish that magazine. It's not like weapons such as the ACR or the AK-5C, which can be quickly topped up so you can get straight back into the action. With this one you do need to make sure you're in a safe place before performing that reload. So all in all, this weapon doesn't really have much going for it, with the exception of that high damage. Being able to drop someone in 1 less shot at both close and long ranges is quite an impressive statistic, but unfortunately this weapon's being nerfed in every other area to kind of make up for this. If only it had a full-size magazine and maybe a slightly faster reload time, this weapon would be much more competitive. But as it stands, you've really got to weigh up the pros and cons. On one hand, it does have those impressive damage figures, but on the other hand, you are sacrificing a lot of other stats that you will find on every other carbine. I'd much prefer to pass on the ability to kill someone in 3 to 5 shots and instead opt for lower damage, but the ability to wield a weapon with a much higher fire rate and lower recoil. So overall, my rating of the ACE 52 CQB is a 2 out of 5. If you agree with my rating, then don't worry, because there's plenty of other aces to choose from, all of which have various statistics and handling characteristics. So if you want to see my reviews of those weapons, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, or if you're watching this in the future, then you'll find a link to the playlist down in the description, where you'll find all the episodes conveniently listed. While you're in there, you'll also find my links to Twitter, Facebook and Google Plus to come and say hello, check out what videos I watch and get heads up when new videos are posted. As always, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up down below if you enjoyed the video or learnt anything new. Otherwise, thanks for watching, I'll catch you all later.